Are we ready? Thank you. Welcome to West Basin Municipal Water District regular board meeting for October 27th, 2025, now 1 o'clock. I'd like to call this meeting to order. Mr. General Manager, do we have a current quorum?
Yes, Madam President. I'll read through roll call. Director Tommy Favai. Here. Director Desi Alvarez.
Here.
Director Scott Houston. Director Don Deere.
Here.
President Gloria Gray.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you very much. I will ask Matt to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please. Thank you.
We faith our nation flag. Hand over your heart. Repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you.
Basin City, except with three. Bicycle.
Public comment. Is there anyone who wished to speak today?
Madam President, we have not received any requests for public comment prior to this meeting, though this meeting is being held both in person and virtually. If there's any member of the public that would like to speak under public comment, please indicate so by raising your virtual hand. Madam President, I do not see any requests.
Thank you very much. Now we will go to presentations. Mr. General Manager, would you please introduce the presentations?
Yes, Madam President, I'm very pleased to introduce item 5A. It's an update from California African American Water Education Foundation. And for this presentation, we do have their executive director, Russell Lowery.
Welcome, Mr. Lowery.
Thank you. And I understand for 3 minutes of your time today, it's an honor to present to you and thank you for your partnership with the African American Water Education Foundation. We exist to increase African American participation in water across California, and we've had a busy year doing just that. Our flagship program, if you want to advance the slides, our flagship program, focus around 3 initiatives: water education, raising awareness about water industry to the public, outreach events. These are kinds of things where we show up to student fairs, events and community events and discuss why water, where water comes from, what it is, and what we're doing to a generalized audience. Professional development, we're very proud of building from the ground up that didn't exist before. What we think is one of the finest leadership training academies in the state for water. What we did is get 20 mid-level career professionals from across California nominated by their agencies. And we went to the Claremont Leadership Institute and some other professional academics and built a program for water leadership from the ground up. And then rather than it be theoretical book knowledge, we paired it with general managers like Heather Dyer, Shivaji, Stefan Tucker, one of our own board members, who deliver the training in person with the students for 8-hour days, multiple days a month for several months. It's been transformative, been described by the students as transformative, and they're growing their participation every day. And then for workforce training, and the workforce training, we're more aiming at the bottom, that first 2 levels of entry level into workforce. And we're recruiting new students and new participants to apply and consider a career in water. And I'd like to report to the board, I'd like you to think about it this way. One of the agencies we were working with was committed to having a water industry that reflected the communities they serve. And they did an outreach event, and all the participants were Caucasian. And we asked, we were working with them when they did this outreach, and their outreach consisted of putting the events and the invitation on their website and emailing it to their list. All we did was change some of the outreach messaging and give them some other tools and tactics to increase the outreach. More people saw it, and they had a more diverse applicant. that's the kind of effort and work that we do. If you want to advance the slide as we conclude, what we're doing and what we will want your participation with going forward is to tie our outreach events and the things we're doing in the public, tying those more closely to the projects that you've specifically got going on. Rather than generic outreach about water, we want to talk about the capital projects, the investments that it takes to sustain a viable water future. And we want to make sure that all Californians are aware and participating in that. And we'd like to partner with you more closely on that. And with my 3 minutes having expired, I will stop the presentation and answer any questions you might have.
Mr. Larway, thank you for the presentation regarding Cal Web. I know Director Williams is a board member, and so is myself. We were there when it began a few years back, and thank you for the work that the organization continues to do. Are there any comments from any other board members? Director Alvarez.
Mr. Lowry, thank you very much for the presentation. I think it's wonderful what you're doing. And I just want to piggyback a little bit that sometimes it doesn't take that much effort to reach out. We think that we're reaching out and we reach out internally to the people that we know and we're comfortable with. But if we're trying to expand that, maybe our traditional approaches are not the best way to go. And I think that the reference that you made to that one event is a very poignant example. Use a little bit of common sense. Maybe don't reach out to a sophisticated audience and you might get a wider participation. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Director Houston. Thank you, Director Alvarez.
I just want to echo a little bit what was said, but certainly thank you for acknowledging the efforts to broaden the outreach and diversification of our industry. They certainly know where it has been, and I think we all know where it needs to go. So we're really glad to be a part of this and commend you for that. And even in my time on this board, I've seen the water world change significantly when I go to conferences and such. But we've all got to work more diligently to broaden the pool of folks who are looking at this industry. So thank you for that. And all of us are here to help support the work.
I'd like to encourage you that the sentiment that your board has expressed, our experience has been the water industry is open and accepting it, and at least rhetorically. And when we give them tools to broaden the outreach, they've been open to accepting that. There's more work that we can do. The way I think about it is that invitation on the website, if we assume good faith that it was sincerely extended to everyone, maybe the person hearing it didn't feel like it was for them. And partnering with groups like COF to extend the same invitation that was sincerely met by your agency, it may be received a little more welcome in communities that might not otherwise respond well. Thank you.
Any other comment? Thank you, Director.
Sure.
Darren. Fine.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for the presentation, and most definitely the workforce development, is a priority for our board. We would love to hear more, about other training programs in the near future too. But I think this is, kind of like a stepping stone to see where workforce development is, and, what is the folks out there that are interested in, these water professional careers, right? So, yeah, we're looking forward to, more of this. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Director. Fine. Any other comment?
Madam President, if I could just add, I did have a chance to attend one of their Educate to Lead program sessions that they had in LA. Shivaji Deshmukh was there as kind of a leader. He reached out to several general managers from throughout the industry to come and just speak about our experiences. And I can just tell you, we actually had one of our former employees, Jennifer Vasquez, who's participating in the program. Is probably one of the most rewarding things that I've attended and been a part of, because we got to talk a little bit about what we do within the industry and work with one another as general managers. But my favorite part was we had about an hour and a half afterwards to just sit around and talk with people that were working their way up at their respective agencies from throughout the state of California. I've remained in contact with almost every single person that I spoke with. And we talked about so many different experiences and just kind of how they got into the industry. And it was amazing to hear past experiences, whether it was originally from the water industry or whether it was coming from a completely different background, and what it took to kind of work your way through and up in the agencies that they're at. So the event, they ended up kicking us out of a restaurant because we had been there for too long, but it was amazing to hear every single story. So I just want to say thank you.
It's the corollary to that conversation that EJ couldn't communicate to you, that's important for you to know, is for this mid-level professional, African-American and Hispanic, mid-level career people to see the time investment from general managers that they're personally attending and investing. The approach is often, it can be a little hero worship, like they don't want to walk up and just talk to them. And for them to come and spend time and hang out and answer questions like that, the phrase that they used repeatedly, we survey constantly throughout the program, is they saw themselves in these positions, not just theoretically, but really, because people who had them said you can do this. And that's the transformative nature of the work that we put together. And by including GMs as the actual programmatic teachers of it, it's been, we hope that it's a game changer. And it stocks you with high quality applicants so that you're putting together the best possible applicant pool that you can when you hire for these critical positions.
Thank you, Ms. Lowry, and thank you for all the comments. Ms. Lowry, one comment I wanted to make is that, diversity is very important to me and everyone on this board, and because I do believe that you have a better outcome when you have diversity. So thank you for looking at outreach, important, and looking at it as a different way, because I think Director Alvarez and others heard talk about outreach is very important, because that's how you really build a diverse workforce. So I encourage your organization to focus on that training, the relationships and the exposure that EJ talked about and others. That's very important. And so whatever we can do to support the organization, please let us know.
Thank you so much.
Mr. General Manager, the next presentation.
Yes, Madam President. I am very excited to introduce this next item. It's item 5B. It's the recognition of Water Professionals Appreciation Week. And I do believe that we have a board resolution. And so I'll hand this back to President Gloria Gray.
Thank you very much. This is a real important recognition, acknowledgement. Water Professionals Appreciation Week. Water is our business, right? And those who are on the front line, in fact, Senator Ben Allen said that at our 30th anniversary of Recycle Water. He mentioned all the folks who are on the line working in the water profession, making sure that water flows. And so this is really to all of you. The board sets policy, but you guys are the professionals out there making everything work for the public. And so it is my honor to do this. I will read this to everyone in the profession. West Basin Municipal Water District Proclamation, Water Professionals Appreciation Week, October 4th through October 12th, 2025. Whereas water is the lifeblood of California, and without safe and reliable water, no community and no sector of the economy, from high tech to manufacturing to agriculture, can thrive or expand. And whereas now more than ever, the water industry is proud of the important role our essential workers play in making sure our communities have safe and reliable water supply. And whereas California is steadily expanding the reuse of treated wastewater and pioneering the use of advanced purified recycled water to replenish aquifers, prevent seawater intrusion, and improve local water supply reliability. And whereas water professionals at local public water and wastewater agencies work diligently to plan for the future, maintain and upgrade infrastructure, and improve the safety and resiliency of local water supplies for their communities. And whereas thousands of essential water, wastewater, and recycled water industry professionals in the state dedicate their careers to keeping drinking water, recycled water, and treated wastewater safe and reliable for use by Californians. And whereas West Basin Water District employs 49 full-time employees who are outstanding employees who work together on a daily basis to ensure the reliable delivery of drinking water and recycle water supplies to a service area of nearly 1 million residents. And whereas West Basin employees West Basin employees collaborate with other water industry professionals at the local, state, and federal levels to achieve the common goal of providing reliable water and wastewater services to support healthy communities, strong economies, and sustainable environments. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed on this 27th day of October 2025 that we, the Board of Directors of West Basin Water District, hereby declare October 4th through the 12th, 2025, as Water Professionals Appreciation Week, and extend sincere gratitude and appreciation to the water industry professionals who work tirelessly to provide essential water supply and services to our communities. It's signed by all 5 board members. Go. Just receiving this, everybody in the room, right?
Yes, yes.
Do a photo. Just let everybody.
That's here. Yeah, if we could do one with the board.
You guys come up. Yes.
Do you mind do you mind?
I'll give you my phone. Director Deere, would you like me to push you forward?
Huh? Yeah, people that tells me, Sarah.
We'll push you back.
Okay, thanks.
Take slow.
So much.
Work.
Good.
Hit. You go, Director. All right.
Whenever you have your attorney take the photo, it's the most expensive photo. we're gonna-
That would be the other one.
I've always. It's got that referred to.
Hmm. Yeah, hopefully later.
Okay, congratulations to all of you. Thank you for all the work that you did. We'll go to item 6, items made to be agendized, any item,
We have no items that are too late to be agendized.
right, consent calendar. Their motion to consider the consent calendar.
So moved.
Second.
Any comment or remarks, comment, questions? All right, can we vote, please?
Director Tommy Favai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes, but I have to abstain on item 7C. I was not at that meeting. On item 7D, I would like to register a no vote. And on item 7E, which is the agreement with Cal Water for the Bonita Melinda McDonald Carson plant, I would like to thank everybody for getting us to the finish line. And Ralph Felix, I thought he was here. I know played a big role in that. Wanted to thank him. So with that, what was next?
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
and President Gloria Gray.
Motion carried.
Yes, it does.
Thank you. At item 8, action calendar, can you please introduce that item?
Yes, Madam President. Item 8A is a rescheduling of the November and December board meetings.
What page?
That is on packet page 302. And for this presentation, we do have Hazel Vasquez, our Deputy Board Secretary, too.
Good afternoon, President Gray, members of the board. As EJ mentioned, this item begins on packet page 302. As you know, West Basin's Administrative Code Section 2-1.402 states that the regular meetings of the Board of Directors shall be held on the fourth Monday of each month. In November, the regular board meeting is scheduled for Monday, November 24th, which falls within the week of the Thanksgiving holiday. In light of the holiday, staff recommends that the board consider rescheduling the meeting to Wednesday, November 19th at 1:00 p.m. Additionally, in December, the regular board meeting is currently scheduled for Monday, December 22nd. This meeting falls during the week of the Christmas holiday. Therefore, staff again recommends moving this meeting. And that would be to either Thursday, December 18th or Friday, December 19th at 1:00 p.m. And now for the recommendation that can be found on packet page 303. I will go ahead and read that. Recommendation is that the board consider rescheduling the regular board meeting scheduled for Monday, November 24, 2025 to Wednesday, November 19th, 2025 at 1 p.m. And the December meeting from Monday, December 22nd, 2025 to either Thursday, December 18th or Friday, December 19th at 1:00 p.m. And with that, I'm happy to answer any questions.
Right, is there a motion?
Madam,
Seconded in the discussion. Second discussion, Scott. Oh,
um, well, let's see, I'm good with the Wednesday, November 19th, but on the latter, I would prefer Friday because it said or here. So Friday, December 19th at 1:00. I do plan to attend CRUA now. I think maybe Director Kavaizen has been CRUA, as well as Director Alvarez, but if at all possible, I'd prefer to do Friday the 19th at 1:00.
okay,
That's what I would support.
Director Pavai,
I'd like to second that,
you
Chair.
want to do Friday, December 19th?
Yeah, Friday.
Director Alvarez,
I
any
can, I
preference?
can do both, yeah.
Director Deere, any preference?
I'm gonna pull an Alvarez and vote no on both.
No one.
I'm not voting no, I'm voting.
Oh, what you often do.
I do.
It's like December 19th, which is a Friday. I won't be here on that day. But we do have a full board. We do have enough folks to be here. All right, so the response is December 19th. And we will vote on that, please. Please call the roll.
Director Tommy Favai.
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez.
Yes.
Director Scott Houston.
Yes.
Director Don Deere.
No.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes. Motion carried.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Item 8B, please.
Yes, Madam President. Item 8B is the approval of sponsorship of fiscal year 2025, 2026.
Oh, I'm sorry, EJ, did we deal with, oh, no, we dealt with everything until November here. Do we need to reschedule the November board meeting? Was that in them
No, that was done
already?
all in one. So,
Okay.
so those meetings would be just for clarity.
Oh,
Wednesday, November 19th,
And then,
and then Friday, December 19th.
got it, okay. It just won't be at the December meeting. Thank you. Okay. I'm sorry, go on.
So this item is to approve sponsorship of fiscal year 2025, 2026 community outreach event. For this presentation, we have Hazel Vasquez, our Deputy Board Secretary, and this item begins on packet page 304.
Thank you, EJ. As EJ just mentioned, this is on packet page 304, and I have one item for your consideration today. The 10th Council District Women's Steering Committee is hosting its annual Christmas Toy Drive Party on Monday, December 15th. This annual event serves as an opportunity for the organization to collect toys that are then given to children in the community via the Department of Parks and Recreation, the South Seas House, and the Fire Department Station number 36. At this time, President Gray recommends a sponsorship of $2,000 that would grant West Basin a speaking opportunity and an information booth at the event, as well as an advertisement in the form of logo placement with conservation messaging. West Basin has not sponsored this event in the past. However, in 2024, we did place an advertisement in the souvenir booth for their annual scholarship fundraiser and luncheon for a fee of $75. And we also sponsored that same luncheon in fiscal year 22-23 for $1,500. And at the time, documents submitted for this year's request are included in attachment A, and those can be found on packet page 306. As always, just a quick reminder, $75,000 is budgeted for the sponsorship of and participation in community outreach events. Approving the sponsorship at the amount requested would leave a remaining balance of $30,050, and details for that are shown in attachment B on packet page 310. And with that, I will read the recommendation that you can find towards the bottom of packet page 305. President Gray recommends that the board approve sponsorship of the 10th Council District Women's Steering Committee Annual Christmas Toy Drive Party on Monday, December 15, 2025. With that, I am happy to answer any of your questions.
Thank you. Is there a motion?
I'll move it.
Second.
Thank you. Any discussion? All right, could you call the roll, please? Call the roll.
Director Tommy Favai.
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez.
No.
Director Scott Houston.
Yes.
Director Don Deere.
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes.
The motion carries.
Thank you very much. Item 8C, please.
Yes, Madam President, this is the first of two ratification items that are being brought directors per the West Basin Administrative Code. Item 8C is a ratification of MF transfer pipeline repairs to the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility. For this presentation, we do have Susanna Lee, our Manager of Engineering, and this item begins on packet page 311.
Thank you, EJ. Good afternoon, Madam President Gray and members of the board. As EJ mentioned, I bring to the board two ratifications, two critical repairs performed by the Alias team and the contractors during June on this time frame. Per West Basin Administrative Code, Section 5-1.106, staff is required to bring back to the board the expenditures of the critical repairs and acquisitions. Two leaks happened almost back to backs between June and July timeframe. These two leaks were deemed critical as they affected West Basin's ability and be impacting delivery of water to both the barrier and Chevron water feed systems. I will begin with item XD. This is the critical expenditure repair to the 36-inch MF transfer pipeline at Edwardsville Recycling Water Facility for a total expenditure of $248,017.42. On June 26, 2025, a leak occurred in the MF transfer pipeline, which carries the microfiltration effluent from the EQ basins to the reverse osmosis trains at Edwardsville. The pipe was originally constructed in 1994 and is critical for both barrier system and Chevron boiler feeds. The leak caused significant reductions in barrier water productions as we prioritize Chevron boiler feed productions. Veolia was immediately directed to reach out to several contractors to undergo critical repair under the guideline of West Basin's Administrative Code of Critical Repair. Only one company responded, Innovative Engineering and Maintenance, to be able to mobilize within the time frame needed to initiate excavations and safely isolation of the leak. Throughout the week of June 30th, Innovative excavated and exposed the leak area. The excavation took some time as it was under concrete pad and near the transfer pump stations. So proper storing, isolation, and dewatering was needed. The location of the leak was discovered in late July 3rd, on July 3rd, 2025. In order to fully isolate the line, a 24-inch butterfly valve was needed to be procured from Harrington Plastic. Final repairs was completed on July 5th, 2025. The repair expenditure included labor and materials for excavation, storing, continuous dewatering, welding the steel pipe, and replacement of the 24-inch butterfly valve from Harrington Plastic. Table 1 listed the details of all costs, while the total cost from the contractor totaled to $221,012.12. With Veolia's markup, the total cost to West Basin is $248,017.42. With that, if there's no other questions, I will read the recommendation. Before I go to item.
Any question? Thank you. Any questions? Okay, can you read your recommendation?
The recommendation is that the payment of the past expenditures related to the critical repair of the 36-inch MF transfer pipeline at ECL in the amount of $248,017.42.
Right.
I'll move the item.
Second.
Right, any questions? And please call the roll.
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Item 8D, please.
Yes, again, item 8D, the ratification of RO Brine line repairs at Edwards C. Little Water Recycling Facility. This item will be presented by Susanna Lee again, Director of Engineering. It begins on packet page 314.
Good afternoon again, members of the board. As mentioned earlier, this is the second ratification for the RO Brine line repair at Edwardsville. Soon after the repair of the previous critical repair of the MF transfer line in July, Veolia staff informed West Basin staff that they noticing there seemed to be a separate leak occurring east of the RO train 1 through 8. Initially, the leak mistaken residual MF pipeline leakage, but later July, as Veolia's continued troubleshooting, they confirmed that the leak originated from different locations and not from the MF transfer pipeline that was just repaired. By sometime mid to late July, the leak was continued to expand, and it was of high concern to the staff as the water was flowing toward critical electrical equipment in the area, which might result in even bigger impact if the leak was continued. So immediately West Basin directed the staff to continue discovery of the leak source. The staff again contracted contractor to begin excavations and discovery of the leak. Prior to the excavation, Veolia staff themselves constructed a temporary trench and sump to divert water away from the critical electrical equipment. Veolia, again, as I mentioned, they solicited several contractors and only one contract responded to the work. In early August, the source of the leak was discovered. Originally, Veolia staff thought that it was originally from the R2 influent line, but it was determined that the leak was from common iron brine line, which conveyed concentrated reject water to Hyperion Water Reclamation Plant. This brine lines also affect both variants and all the peak trains. The leak was located 5 feet below the asphalt, caused by damage of affected HDPE reducer flange, posing a high risk to the adjacent electrical equipment. Because of the leak is on the brine line, which means the repair will require shutdown of all our trains at the zero. Consequently, the repair did require shutdown of both barrier and Chevron systems. Staff carefully coordinated the planning and the repair efforts of Valley County of Public Works and the Chevron engineering staff. After much discussions, the repair work was scheduled on August 21st. The repair was completed within the 6-hour coordinated shutdown on August 21st, 2025. The work included dewatering of the brine line, removal of the damaged flange and pipe section, completed drying of the line and connection, electrical fusion of the new part, and backfilling of the trench. The team provided close coordination and notification to the Chevron team throughout the 6-hour shutdown, as they were in the middle of turnaround time during that time frame. The contractor worked closely and was successfully to fully finish the repair work within the scheduled time. Table 1 is the detailed breakdown of the cost. The contractor cost was totaled to be $158,254.80 with the Veolia markup. It was totaled to be $177,245.38. If there's no more questions, I'll be happy to read the recommendation.
Take any questions?
I have a question.
Right down, Brent.
So on the previous one and this one where they needed somebody relatively quick, it was innovative both times. How many people did they really call?
Per administrator.
So they didn't bother to maybe add a new, since they just gave one to innovative, have a different 3 that they call. Anyways, it just sometimes seems like we've become repetitive in reaching out to people. That's all.
There are these.
I do have a question in the sense of, I mean, I know these are both things that we didn't anticipate happening, obviously. And of course, these expenses are quite significant. And just a broader picture here, is there a way that we could have known that something like this was going to happen? Or where was this in our potential pre-planning? Would have avoided any of this?
These are leaks that we don't, obviously we don't plan for. And for the extent of the repair, we normally do not know how much the cost is until we excavate and how much coordination we need. But have a way to pre-plan, this type of repair. But we do have in the budget on the facility maintenance. So when we do budget or when we only did budget, there's a portion that they set aside for emergency.
Director Houston, I would add that, this is a good reminder that, this is the old contract, and as of September 1st, we are under a new contract for O&M services. with Jacobs. You may recall that the structure of that new contract puts a renewed emphasis on preventative maintenance. And so Jacobs is going to be incentivized to make sure they're doing preventative maintenance. While, it would be, I think, disingenuous to suggest that preventative maintenance would have identified these particular pipe leaks, especially if they're underground. But nonetheless, for this type of emergency situation, I would expect that a rigorous routine preventative maintenance will prevent this type of failure from happening overall. Again, pipe leaks are kind of hard to know are going to occur or even to predict. But this sort of emergency activity should be minimized under the new contract structure moving forward.
It is noted that since the 2021 pipe period upset, we have metals pipes throughout our facilities. We do see more corrosion incidents going on. There are frequent leaks throughout the plant. It would be recommended to work together with Jacobs to come up with the assessment, condition assessment of our gas piping to help us to get ahead of these unexpected shutdowns.
I completely understand, and I just have to ask the question. Obviously, we don't want these things happening. We don't usually have these happening, and this is a fairly significant amount of money. And of course, it's at the 11th hour. We had no choice. So I do like the idea and concept that yes, looking at the whole system preventatively, that being a big focus going forward. But thank you for this and what we got accomplished. Appreciate that. Thank you.
Before I read the recommendation, I apologize. There is a mistake on the recommendations, but we could correct it in language. On the recommendation. Okay. The recommendation is that the board ratify the expenditure for the critical repair of the RO prime pipe at ECL in the amount of just $77,245.30.
I'll move the recommendation.
I'll second.
So we can do that even though it was posted.
Clear, you articulated. In the motion. Can you repeat the dollar amount?
$177,245.30.
Okay, right, can you call the roll?
Director Tommy Pavai. Yes. Director Desi Alvarez.
Yes.
Director Scott Houston.
Yes.
Director Don Deere.
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Yes,
Motion carries.
thank you. Item 9, information calendar, none.
That's correct.
Item 10, receive and file. Any questions regarding any of the items under receive and file? If not, is there a motion?
Receive and file motion.
Second motion.
If there's a second, no questions, can you call the roll?
Happy to do so. I did want to.
No?
Let somebody outside.
That's you now. Hello? Did I do something here? What did I do?
That the item I thought was gonna be on the consent or the action calendar, and it wasn't, so. I mean, I can bring it up now that I realize. There. Is he gonna come back?
No. And I'll just, Madam President, if you'd allow me.
What item are you talking
Uh,
about?
Director Alvarez had requested a discussion of item 10G. which is on the receive and file counter. It was brought to the committee, the Water Policy and Legislative Committee, as an information item, as we would typically do. And what we did is staff provided the committee and board an overview of the state and federal advocacy services to seek direction from the committee and board on whether to extend the existing contracts with the state and federal legislative advocacy firms or whether to go out to RFP. The committee gave input to extend or work to extend the existing agreements, but with the caveat that I would have these conversations with members of the board of directors to make sure that that was okay. And you had mentioned that, and so I apologize for interrupting.
So thank you for bringing that up. I figured it would come back as a actual item for board approval, and then I would speak to that item. But since the committee said proceed with the RFP, at some point it does have to come back for board approval.
The direction was to move forward with an extension of the existing agreement so that a future action, if we move forward as directed by the committee, would be to bring back a ratification or approval of the agreement to extend the existing contracts.
So here's my comments, and what I made the comments when it was brought back for board approval. Both of the advocacy agreements with our Sacramento lobbyists and our Washington lobbyists are fairly old and have been renewed already. And it's a good policy to every once in a while, at least every 5 years, and these agreements are older than 5 years, to go out and solicit interest from the community so that we have one openness and provide an opportunity for other parties to participate. We spoke to that earlier when we had the presentation about just making things available so that the public knows, hey, there are opportunities here. So my comments and are that this item be put out for solicitation. The current firms have done an excellent job. I have no qualms about that. And I would give them kudos, but it would be in the best agency of our ratepayers and of the community at large if this was put out for solicitation for both a Sacramento lobbyist and a Washington lobbyist. So that was my comments, and I was not at the committee meeting where this was discussed. The second item is when you do look at the Washington lobbyist, given the current situation in Washington, I'm not quite sure that it's worth renewing it for even another year at this point, because we're not in the Insiders Club. And although we can go back to Washington and visit our congressional delegation, there's very little lobbying that we can effectively do today in Washington. So those are my comments to that item. But I had thought that would come back as an actual action item.
All right, and that was it, but because you were not at the committee level. Okay. All right, any other comments?
Let me just
Director?
my only comment on this is, I understand, so this is receive and file, right? So this is just receive and file. And I understand the committee did what it did. I was not there either. And so I guess what I'm also hearing, EJ, was you'd be talking to the board members individually or something like that. Was that right?
That was the intention, yes.
So you and I had not had a chance to talk, and so we will. So I'll leave that there. But thank you for Director Alvarez for his comments. Thank you.
All right, so you will be talking individually to the board members and then
Yes.
deciding will come back for action. Okay, that's relative to both contracts.
That is correct.
All right, did we vote on receive and file?
No, but there was a motion and I believe a second to receive and file.
Thank you for the vote, please.
Director Tommy Fabai,
Yes.
Director Desi Alvarez,
Yes.
Director Scott Houston,
Yes.
Director Don Deere,
Yes.
President Gloria Gray.
Okay, item 11, general manager's report.
Yes, Madam President, you have all received a hard copy of the general manager's report before you, as well as an electronic copy that was emailed before the board meeting. I did want to comment just a little bit about the past week, especially in light of the resolution that the board approved and signed in relation to water professionals recognition. Last week was a significant week for West Basin. On Thursday, we held a lunch celebrating 30 years of recycled water. And I think that one thing that you heard about throughout those presentations and several of the comments made by the speakers was just how important water professionals are, not only to our communities, but I think within the region, because when you have great people working for you, you achieve great things. And it was great to hear the recognition of not just the people who have worked here before, but also the people that work here now, the people that are getting things done every single day. And it was great to celebrate that on Thursday, but there was no better opportunity to see that than on Saturday. Saturday, I arrived at the Edward C. Little Water Recycling Facility for our annual Water Harvest Festival. And immediately you see people moving, getting things done, setting things up. You can see the obvious workload that went into Friday to get things done. I had a chance to be at the facility on Friday and I could see it firsthand again. Water harvest, an event like that does not happen overnight. It doesn't happen in a few hours. It definitely takes place over the course of months, whether it's procurement, whether it's ensuring that all of the contracts are approved and signed and approved by the board of directors, the administrative aspects of it, the budgeting, the finance aspects. Our public information education team is really second to none in the industry. And I can just tell you that I logged almost 5 miles walking around the water harvest. And I would do this path and then I would circle back around. And every single thing that I saw that West Basin had a hand in was creative, new, and fresh. And I would tell you that it was shocking to me because I've attended nearly 20 water harvests. And so the fact that we're continuing to find new things to do, and very specifically the career booth, where there was a little box that said, what does the next generation of water professionals look like? And you open it up and it was a mirror there. So you could see yourself in that box. The Jeremiah Movie Festival, our water use efficiency booth, which is always one of the favorites of everybody that comes to water harvest. And even our engineering and water recycling booth. I can't tell you how many kids were walking around with dirty hands and dirty shoes because they were in there turning dirt and digging and burying pipes. And that doesn't even mention all of the people that went on the water recycling tours. So I just want to say thank you to everybody that had a hand in Thursday's event. I want to say thank you for all of our past employees and leaders, but also a very special thank you to all the people that are here today. And again, a lot of people gave up their entire Saturdays to be there this past weekend for water harvest. So I just want to say thank you very much to our entire team at West Basin.
Thank you.
Madam President.
Yes.
I've got a quick question or two for the general manager because I saw this report and I'm really interested. You have 2 items on here that relate to the Olympics.
Yes.
One was October 9th. And one was October 21. 21st, you met with Long Beach Utilities to talk about venues and recycled water for venues for Olympics. But also on the 9th, you have here a group called the Water Supply and Drought Planning Working Group, which sounds quite interesting, for the Game Water Council. So can you just explain what these are for us, please?
Yes. So the city of Los Angeles, through the mayor's office, has created several different working groups in order to make sure that everybody that needs to be at the table is at the table to discuss potential issues. And so what you see there on October 9th, the Water Supply and Drought Planning Work Group, that's a group of water professionals talking a little bit about what our contingencies are in case of drought, extreme drought, and water supply issues. So it's important to note that the Olympic Games that'll be, and everybody talks about Los Angeles coming up. It's important to note that it's also will take place in the state of Oklahoma. So there'll be a portion there, and really talking a little bit about what our strategies are. So you do have representatives from Metropolitan Water District, Los Angeles Department of Water and Power. Then you have Long Beach, because they're going to have a number of different events held there. And then you have the Public Works departments from the West Basin service area from the city of Inglewood, as well as the city of Carson, because we'll have events there. And so it's all about talking about our messaging and how we're going to respond in the months and even years before the Olympics in order to prepare in case of extreme drought. So I think that to me is a great opportunity to not just talk about what we're going to do, but what we've done. We've talked a little bit about outreach and how to educate people so that when visitors are here, they're enjoying the great native landscaping that they're going to see throughout the Southern California region. Well as all of the water bottle filling stations and all these things. So it's about talking about the second meeting was actually very interesting. October 21st, I met with the city of Long Beach Utilities. Again, they're hosting a number of different events. Some of those events would include sailing and sea kayaking and stuff like that. And there's a great deal of water usage in those events because they spray down all the boats and they do all these different things. And there is a desire by the mayor and all those involved to make this the most environmentally sustainable Olympics ever held. And so one of the things they're talking about is how they can utilize recycled water when distribution won't allow us to get recycled water there. And so we kind of had a brainstorming session about what that would look like, whether trucking and tanks would do, what the water quality would possibly be needed for some of those events, and then potentially what permitting and regulatory efforts must be overcome in order to utilize recycled water outside of our distribution system. So it's just kind of these brainstorming sessions. They meet about once every other month. And again, I want to say thank you to the city of Los Angeles because they're definitely leading it, including Anselmo Collins and his team, and then all of our leaders from all of those agencies and their participation.
Well, number one, thank you, EJ. Thank you for that. And I would ask that down the road, as appropriate, you probably can give us an update on some of this. I don't know if that goes in the PI committee. I don't know where it's going to go, but at some point, maybe you'll give us, a consistent update.
Oh, yeah.
To fruition. I love it. And then secondly, it actually makes me think about, you're right, we're going to be on the world stage in the region. We all know it. And we don't know what the climate's going to be like by 2028. If it'll be a real dry year or not, give or take. But this actually does give us a real opportunity to shine with all the work that we have done and that we will get accomplished by then. So I would just push back to our whole water community, LADWP and all the partners and MET. It's actually a really good opportunity for us. So glad to hear it and look forward to you all keeping us engaged on that.
Happy to do that. I will bring back a regular updates. And I'll give you one little nugget of kind of where these things lead to. First and foremost, they're talking primarily about security and drinking water security. And so they did presentations by the FBI and such, talking about the potential risks of hosting an Olympic Games. But as you're listening to these presentations, you immediately walk away and you start thinking about what we can do. And I already had a chance to meet with Matt Bay, the manager of water policy and resource development, to talk about the fact that we're going to have events in our service area. And though you may think that there's enough water bottle filling stations in and around those venues, but when you're going to have those types of crowds and they're trying to make it sustainable and they're talking about having refillable cups and you're allowed to take them into the venues and stuff like that. It's kind of let's start talking about where we need those water bottle filling stations to make sure that everybody has an opportunity to stay hydrated, because it's going to be in the middle of the summer. It's going to be hot. So we're looking at what we can do with our communities to make sure that there are enough of those.
Thank you. Thank you, Madam President.
Okay, thank you very much. Any other comments or questions for BJ? Okay, thank you for that report. We'll go to General Counsel's report.
I have no report for open session.
Right, item 13AB, 1, 2, 3, 4, reporting compliance. Your report directly.
I'll just mention, on the 10th of October, I attended the West Basin WRD Ad Hoc Committee meeting. And anything else I missed, I'll make sure we look at and get in writing, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Right, before we do closed session, I think we'll do our director's comments so that staff can hear our comments. Had a very special weekend, so we'll do that. Gonna start with the director's comments.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to comment on, this week was a busy week. And, all the staff that came together, like EJ mentioned on the Water Harvest Festival. It was just well organized and, having been involved in my IBW picnics, it's a big operation too. But just to see West Basin's operation, like Barna, you guys topped it off. You guys, that it's and you made with the space that you had, you made use of all of the space that you had, and it was like a nice flow around that vicinity right there. And I just like all of the booths that were all set up, what EJ mentioned and stuff. So yeah, kudos to the staff on the Water Harvest Festival, and then also the celebration, the 30-year celebration of recycling water. The food was just awesome. Yeah. And then, just every, chair, when you run, running the meeting and so forth, and just having, the presentations from Senator Ben Allen, and then others that came out, and spoke. I thought those great. The whole setup was just great. So, that's my comments. Can I bring up future agenda items? Too? Okay. So I have one future agenda item I wanted to bring up in front of the board and for the staff. And I mentioned this to EJ. When it comes to the engineering and bidding specifications, when it comes to small businesses and certifications, I like to see staff bring something back to the board when it comes to opportunities for other certifications to be added in bid specs, like women business owned, or minority business owned, or veteran owned business owned, a business enterprise. Things like that. I like to see those certifications, be brought forward. However the criteria looks when it comes to adding those certain, categories. I can give you an example. I know the Port of Los Angeles and Port of Long Beach, they have 25% small business participation. And they break up the 25% participation by very small business, minority business, and veteran business, and so forth. So you have that full participation of other, business enterprises that can participate, other than your prime contractors and so forth, right? So, if staff can bring something back to the board and see how we can add those certifications in there, I think it just makes it more transparent when it comes to contractors that want to participate in West Basin and want to do business with West Basin, but they don't meet those certifications because they have to go under a prime to actually qualify for something like that, right? So, I'd just like to see that come forward at a later date, later board meeting. if that's okay with the chair.
Fine. Thank you for bringing that up. We've had discussions in the past about things like this, and the fact that you brought it up, I'm sure staff has heard it and EJ has heard it, and let's have some discussion further in terms of how that works in our contracting, because it's all about opening up opportunities to everyone. So thank you, Director, for bringing that up. Did you want to make a comment about it?
Well, I will now.
No, don't have to, but you can.
I do appreciate Director Fave's comments. I think, President Gray, you're right. We've had a lot of discussion about this. And this goes back to the earlier issue that Mr. Lowry alluded to, is how do you present this information? When we go out to bid and we solicit, we do, it's not because we're not trying to solicit to a broad community, but we do it in a way that it's a very targeted, and it's the same firms over and over and over again. And we've had this discussion multiple years. I remember Director Williams and I bringing this up 3 or 4 years ago, that when we advertise, for example, even today, a lot of our advertising, people will say, it reached 1,000 firms. And I always just shrug my shoulders and I said, so what? It did reach 1,000 critical firms. And most of those firms don't even care. So every time I see that kind of a reference, it just kind of, to me, says, this is kind of a false way of saying that we are really reaching out. If you're really reaching out to the small community that isn't plugged in or doesn't have the resources to be plugged in to the kinds of agreements and contracts that we put out, then we need to shift how we do it. So I think Director Fave's point is right on, and maybe this will be something that we can revisit at E&O and bring back to the board.
You've heard the majority of people on the board.
Yes, and we're already working on that. It's important to note that when we talk about the wide breadth of when we advertise our opportunities, it's important to note that the reason we bring that up is because there's a great deal of outreach to grow that number. And I'll give a really good example because I received a phone call from Metropolitan Water District thanking us for participating in MetWorks. Susanna Lee actually had a chance to present last Thursday. You might have noticed that there are some key people that were missing at the 30th anniversary, and that's because MetWorks was hosting an event that day. And so that's just one example of the tremendous outreach that we're trying to do to get firms, small firms, women-owned firms, minority-owned firms, veteran-owned firms, and get them into our system, because once you get that, once you're in the system, that's the first opportunity to get to learn about those opportunities. But I'm going to work with Director Favai in meeting kind of his objective here, and then we'll work with staff to kind of craft a policy that we can bring to the board so that we can talk about how to do that and how to incentivize those firms to put in and participate in our projects.
Yeah, one last thing I'd like to say is that traditional outreach does not work. In my perspective, you got to think out of the box. You got to do something different. You got to figure out what's not working where people know about these opportunities. And if they know about it, what's preventing them from being a part of it? And so that's what I mean when I say think out of the box. What are the hindrances, obstacles that prevent it? Because if the goal is what we've said to be, we got to figure out how to achieve it. And if it's not been working in the past, then you got to figure out another way. So thank you for the discussion.
Chair, I just got one last thing.
Sure.
One last thing. It's just a suggestion to staff. What I've seen in the kind of like the construction world is that, like, I'll give you another example of the same thing with the ports and what they do when it comes to small businesses and how they collaborate small businesses, is that they have these, I wouldn't say like a mixer, not alcohol, but luncheon, breakfast or luncheons or something like that, right? So they'll have these luncheons or breakfasts to bring in all of the small businesses to participate with the general contractors or primes, and they meet each other. and then they collaborate with each other. And then they talk about projects. And then the port will give a presentation on how to sign up for very small business, if you're a very small business and things like that. So I thought it was very well, presented, because now you got more participation of small business that felt like, oh, okay, I'm a part of something. I'm a part of, doing business with the ports, and I'm part of meeting with these prime contractors and generals and stuff like that. And I think that's something that West Basin could take on at a later time in the future. It could be like a small thing, and then you start from there and you build from there and bring, these businesses, to the table and talk about things like that. So just a suggestion.
Making that connection. Thank you.
If I may, Director provide there was scheduled for tomorrow, but with the government shutdown, it was postponed with small business WRD West Basin to have a vendor fair just like that. But we did postpone it, so we're waiting for news when that will be rescheduled.
Thanks.
It was shut down because.
It was postponed because of the government shutdown. Yes, SBA is leading that charge, so
Oh.
they don't have as
Oh,
many.
that's the connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
Couldn't just WRD and West Basin do it?
Yeah, and then, anyway, I think the idea is, well, we're exploring, and the fact that you already are thinking about it. Okay. And I hope these mixes are throughout our service area, not in one particular spot, not.
Yeah.
It has to be where the people are, and we have a vast community service area, so it needs to be all over the service area. And they can be small gatherings, making that connection as Director provided suggested. The more the merrier, that's why I said small. Okay, thank you, Director Houston.
Sure. Thank you very much, Madam Chair. And I'll be brief because I know a lot's been said, but I echo it. And that being said, this has been an amazing week. You all put a lot of work in leading up to Saturday and even a board meeting today and things we've got coming up as well. And I just want to say I appreciate it. The luncheon was wonderful, and I think it was very meaningful, and it was a good group of folks who were able to attend, and we got a lot of good feedback and compliments about that. And so thanks to everyone who made that happen. As well as, of course, Water Harvest was also excellent this year. I also got really good compliments about that too from folks who were able to make it. But one of the things I thought was just so special about the luncheon was because, yes, those who could make it, some of the folks who've come out of West Basin and have moved on in their careers. And of course, we talk about a number of general managers have come from this district, and we are really proud of that. And of course, most recently is Shivaji Deshmukh now becoming the general manager of Metropolitan. So, it just adds to the legacy of this agency and, to you all, of course, the staff. You all support us. And so thank you for that. And of course, not forgetting, as I mentioned at that lunch, our younger people, the ones who are coming in, all of you all who are here now at every level of the organization. I think everyone's working well together, and we're noticing that, and others are noticing that. So I just want to commend all the staff, and again, thank you for your work when it comes to encouraging our younger staff, our interns, who are getting engaged in this industry, who we hope will stick around in this industry and will probably also do some strong and great things in the future, as many of you have done and your peers. So I just wanted to put that out there. It's, this is an amazing agency. I love it. And, you're the ones that make it happen every day. So thanks for all the work. Thank you, EJ, for your leadership. But again, this is a really strong week. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Director. Director, Deere?
Yeah, I want to make a comment. First of all, we're speaking off the agenda. We got to change our agenda and have these oral communications from the board before the closed session. We do it after the closed session. A lot of folks are gone already.
and they don't hear our wisdom.
Oh,
I really think that we should change the agendas in the future and have these communications as we are now.
good idea.
Secondly, I agree with Scott's comments, especially about the two events. Our staff worked very hard to make these events successful. And I certainly, we note that, and we appreciate that very much, hard work they do. And on a personal note, since I've had these infirmities, you know, I had 2 broken legs and 2 broken arms in the last 2 years. There's been a lot of extra little things done for me by staff. Just little things like making sure that someone opens the door for me, or there's a chair available, or whatever. And that they've been doing it all these last couple of years. And I really want to thank them personally for their courtesies and extra effort. We have just a wonderful staff. No wonder we have 10 general managers come from this West Basin, because this is a great organization. And thank you all for everything. Thank you.
Thank you, Director Deere. That was an excellent idea regarding the agenda. And you are very special. That's why you get the special attention. So thank you.
When I taught school, I taught special education, and that was just.
Thank you, Director Deere. We appreciate those comments, and I think that's a great suggestion, because sometimes closed session goes a long time and keeps you guys away from work, your duties and so forth. So Director Alvarez,
I already said my piece. Thank you.
already said your piece. Okay, well,
Madam President,
yes.
we
Director.
do have something that perhaps we could do before closed session,
Yes, we do.
because it'll nourish people before closed session.
Yes, we will. So I make a comment that, let me make my comment, and then we're gonna do something that issue, take that issue up. I probably won't repeat what you heard on this table, but this weekend was phenomenal. I mean, I can't express my appreciation from these directors here. You guys are phenomenal. I mean, not surprising that 30th year anniversary was outstanding the way it was, all the planning. When I walked in that room, saw the purple and white, I felt like I was at a dinner in Beverly Hills Hotel with all the way it was decorated. Seriously, it was beautiful. Everything was perfect. The program, we had wonderful people there, great turnout. Thank you to EJ and the directors and everybody getting people there. I mean, we really did. You know, if I start naming the folks, if I started saying the chair of that came, and our new GM came, Shivaji came, and Congresswoman Lucille Allard, Allard came, and she doesn't really make appearances, if you will, but she came. It was special to her, and of course we recognized Grace Napolitano, our champion for years, and Senator Richardson sent a flag, and we had Mike Gibson's rep there. We had cities representatives there. We had retailers. We had all the community members, WRD, everybody. It was just a wonderful mix of people coming together to recognize what we have done so well for so many years. And former employees who worked here, which I didn't know everybody. But, you know, this agency really has produced a lot of great leaders and ones that are here now. So thank you for what you've done. The water harvest was great too. I didn't get a chance to walk around, but not surprising hearing what Director Pavane said about the way it was structured and all that. You guys just do a great job. So thank you, thank you, thank you. And so thank you for your leadership, EJ, and that's it. And we're gonna take one more issue before we go into closed session, okay? And EJ, that issue, please. We can take up now. Oh, one thing I did forget to mention, my granddaughter won first prize at Water Harvest Board. In fact, you were there, Scott. They took pictures
did.
for the costume contest.
Oh,
They took
yeah.
pictures
Oh,
with
yeah,
you.
they were, well, but I don't think she mentioned that to me, but yeah, we got some photos together.
Yeah,
That was-
All right, everybody. If we could just go quick, I know Rajan's not here.
but we could do a quick happy birthday.
All right.
Our two directors.
Let's 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday, dear Director Alvarez and Director Houston. Happy birthday to you.
Dr. President and Director Savannah. No,
Oh, it's Director Fava's birthday. Thank you.
we gotta do this again. We gotta do this again. Everybody, we gotta do this again. One more happy birthday. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday.
Hi, Director Alvarez.
Happy birthday to you. And many more. Just make a wish. Close your eyes and make a wish.
Hi.
How old are you?
Okay.
Back there, lady.
My favorite one.
And then you all can grab some cake before we go into closed session. Yes.
All right, Mark. Oh, I was talking about my great granddaughter won first prize, the baby prize for the contest.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and Scott took a picture with them.
Yeah,
I had left.
I looked out, I was walking out and there they were. It was great, so.
Thank you, guys.
Yes.
All right, we're gonna go into closed session.
For the two items that are stated on the agenda, conference legal counsel, initiation of litigation and anticipated litigation.
All right,
Chair, I'll over the meeting and note that we are back in closed session.
I would just report that there's no action taken that was reportable pursuant to the Brown Act.
Thank you. Is there any further business? If not, so we are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone.
Jealous.
Right.
Take 'em
You better
6
run.
hours to get there.
You better run.
I've got